Brazell, from your experience at the VA, do you have any concerns about the VBA's workplace culture? What do you see as the biggest hurdles that VBA faces in successfully serving veterans and their dependents? What needs to change, if anything?
Chairman Moran, thank you for that question. Just to be clear, I have not been involved in any of the VBA operations. That's not my area of oversight right now. But I do believe that we've got some challenges with culture. Anytime a new leader comes in, we don't make changes right away. We assess what's working well and what's not working well. And I think it's important that we look at prioritizing claims modernization. And I say that from the aspect of having one foundational data object. I've heard from veterans, even when I served before, how come I have to give you guys my information over and over? I think it's important that we have the veterans submit that their discharge document one time, and it's used across multiple systems. I also think there's an opportunity to digitize forms. We have a VA form that is for the notice of beneficiary and claimants. It is a 15-page form. The first 6 pages are instructions of how to fill out the next 9 pages. I think we could do better than what we have today for our veterans. And we also need to leverage emergent technologies. I want to look at workforce strengthening. Once confirmed, I will assess and review any challenges and look for opportunities for improvement. And then finally, veteran-centered reform, digital modernization of claims processing. I think it's important that we look at where we can leverage emergent technologies to reduce. We have a claims backlog right now of about 650,000 within compensation. And yes, we've done a great effort under this administration, reducing that by about 37%. But I do believe there's opportunities where we can actually modernize that process to be more transparent to the veteran. But most importantly, any emergent technology we bring to the VA, we must have a human at the beginning and end of that process.
What do you see as your impediments to accomplish what you just described as your goals?
Chairman Moran, over the last almost 9 months, I think a lot of it is the culture. We've relied a lot in the VA on our contractors, but we need our contractors because VA doesn't have all the experts. It needs to be a balanced approach, but we've got to have leaders who's willing to take risks. And I say those are calculated risks because some people may misconstrue what I mean by risk, but leaderships ensure that their folks are uncomfortably comfortable. Meaning as leaders, we have to push our people to help them grow, to get them outside of the way they normally think. I'm going to bring an industry perspective, spending the last 4 years in industry, and really bringing more of those agile methodologies, encouraging them to take risks, but celebrating what we've learned from when we take risks.
Thank you for your answer. One would think, in hearing you describe the form, that someone else previous to you would have decided this form makes no sense, it's unfair, and inappropriate for our veterans. Those things that linger trouble me, and of course, individuals' leadership matters. I also would tell you that it seems to me that the VA may be siloed from the rest of the department, and even within the organization, within VBA, they not necessarily talk to each other. This lack of communication, I think, can cause veterans to fall between the cracks. And I'd be interested, I won't ask this as a question because my time is about to expire and I have one specific I want to ask you, but I would ask you to look into this issue of how do you make the VBA part of an overall organization focused on veterans. And I have a pet peeve, mostly what I know about the circumstances that veterans are in are what they tell me, what their emails tell me, what they tell my staff, and particularly the cases, the issues they bring to us to try to solve on their behalf. And I would love, not because I don't want to do the work, in fact, it's part of the most rewarding thing that most of us do, but it would be a great day in which it did not require your United States Senator to get the VA to do what needs to be done to care for an individual veteran. One of my veterans in my hometown has raised this with me, and I've raised this with the previous leadership of the VA, and it may seem like a minor thing, but the VA sends out to veterans in Kansas and across the country, they receive notices to say that their claim is, quote, ready for decision. And a month goes by, and a month goes by, and a month goes by. It's a misleading statement. It's not ready for decision, or if it is, it's still not decided. And I would ask you to take some time and address this if you're confirmed and serve in that capacity. Veterans ought to know what to expect. And in this case, we're misleading them about the circumstance they're in. And I would welcome any response to that.
Senator, you bring up a good, Chairman, you bring up a good point. I think it's important to be transparent, but we have to be also factual in our responses to the veterans. There is room for improvement in transparency, more outreach, more education, and there's also more opportunity for us to collaborate collectively with you and your staff to ensure that whatever information that we're disseminating to the veterans, that they understand and that we're not, I'm looking for the right words, being on the other side, if I had a document that says, hey, your claim's ready for basically decision, I'm thinking I'm going to get notification in the next few days. We need to be clear what that means. And that goes back to if we had a better, I would say not better, but an improved claims processing where the veteran actually saw where their claim was throughout that entire process.
Thank you. Senator Blumenthal.